My name is Catherine, and I am a meditation teacher. This is the first of a series of classes offered through University of Hawaii Lifelong Learning, OLLI. Today, we're going to have an introduction of continuum movement. If you'd like to know more about me, you can look at my website, creativehealingmovement.com. And if you'd like to know more about continuum specifically, you can also go to the website, Continuum Teachers. Continuum is a meditation practice that is not done for religious purposes, but is done as a medical, healing, and health practice. We're encouraging our body to be healthy and well by using very gentle, small movements, breath, relaxation techniques, and sound vibrations. So the sound I'm going to use today is HM, hum. If you are going to sing a song and you didn't know the words, you might hum. So it's a natural sound for us to make. Anyone can make this sound. It's okay if it comes out short or long. It's okay if it's different volumes or tones. I'm just trying to use the sound vibration to feel my body, bring my awareness inside, encourage relaxation, encourage energy flow, oxygen distribution, blood flow, and nutrients throughout my body in every cell. I'm going to do this class as an introduction class to Continuum, trying the sounds while I move my body and my hands on different spots of my body to encourage my head, my heart, my belly to relax. I'm going to do the practice standing, sitting, and then again lying down. Now, you may be able to do some of the things that you see me do. You maybe do all of those things, or you may need to limit yourself and adjust or modify. It's okay if you don't stand up and you do the whole thing sitting in the chair. It's okay if you move a lot and you can't sit still. It's okay if this practice makes you so sleepy that you just kind of rest and maybe lay down and focus on your internal experience, your breathing, your resting. The whole point is that your body comes to a relaxation, healing place to encourage the vibrancy and the life force inside of you to move. So movement is a key topic in continuum practice. I'm going to stand up now and step back from the computer. I'm going to put my hands over my head, on my face. If you don't like touching your face, just put your hands near your head, on my shoulders, on my ribs, on my hips, and then on my knees. And as I do so, each time I'm going to take a big breath, inhale. And when I have enough air in my lungs, I feel comfortable exhaling. I'm going to let out my exhale slow and calmly. And as I exhale, I'm going to make a sound. The sound I'm going to use today is HM, hum. It might look like this. Inhale, exhale. After I hum, I want to just pause and notice, how does that vibration feel in my jaw, my body? How does it affect my breathing? Is there any part of my body that wants to move or stretch because I made that sound? So I'm going to step back from the computer and do these different hums. If you cannot hear the hum, just know every time I change my hands, I'm going to hum again. And if your hum is very short, and you don't have much breath or exhale or length, feel free to hum more than once, maybe 3 times in each position. It's okay if you can't remember the positions. We're going to repeat them sitting and laying down also. If you need a shorter practice today, you can try it just once standing, take a moment to rest, and close the video. The first thing we should do is take a moment to just notice how we are feeling today. How is our breath moving inside our body? Is there a mood, a certain feeling I have today? Do my thoughts have a topic? And this is a practice where we're not talking to each other and the energies are not going out to the computer. So at times you might even close your eyes and rest away from the computer to feel inside to answer these questions. How is my breath moving? So at the end of our practice today, we're going to ask these same questions to ourselves. It's called a baseline to try to figure out, how do I feel before I do this and after I do this, to compare those and see if there's any change or shift, if this is a useful practice for myself. So let's get started. I'm going to back up. You may also feel like standing. I'm going to put my hands over my head. And if you want to, you may want to open your legs a little wider, wide feet apart. With my hands over my head, I'm going to take a big inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to hum. Now I'm going to just feel and see if anything in my body wants to move. It could just sway side to side or be very slow motion. We're just exploring resting, sensation, movement, stretching, breath. You can hum again here if you'd like. I'm moving very gently and slowly. I'm going to allow my hands to be on my face, touching or not touching, somewhere near my head. And I'm going to take another big inhale and exhale. And as I exhale slowly and calmly, I'm going to make my sound hum, hum. If your hands are touching your face, you might also want to bring your legs together. So the elbows are close to the body, the hands are close to the body, and the legs are close to each other as you hum. Again, just give yourself a minute to notice, how does this feel? See if there's any little wiggles or movements. Maybe you're swaying on your feet. Maybe your toes want to wiggle. As your hands let go of your face, you might allow your fingers to do very small little motions. It's called micro movements. When the fingers and toes or any part of your body create very small little wiggles and stretches, tiny movements that help us relax. I'm going to take my right hand on top and touch my shoulders. I'm going to go ahead and take my right leg and cross my ankles. Taking a big breath, I feel like a hug. My arms are hugging me, my legs are hugging each other. If you feel off balance, you can always lean against the wall or uncross your legs. With an inhale, exhale, I'm going to make my sound. My attention is inside the body, inside, noticing sensations, wiggles, movements. I can always let go of that hug. See if I want to move gently and slowly, wiggle my fingers, toes, or do other kinds of stretches. Exhales. And the way my body responds might be very different from the way your body responds. What's nice about Continuum is each body in the room, in the practice, is going to do the very best thing for the body. Each person is going to behave a little bit differently. I'm going to take my left arm and put it on top. And this time I'm touching my ribs. This is the base of my lungs. So all of this is my lung area. And my lungs really can control things like emotions, relaxation. I'm going to take my left leg and put it over the top, crossing at the ankles. Again, feeling this hug. Feel free to keep your knees a little bent and your tummy tight to help with balance, or lean against a wall or uncross your feet if needed. Inhale, exhale. You can feel your ribs moving as it touches your hands and your hands touch your ribs. You might feel a sway in your legs because they're trying to balance. Our attention is on all of these tiny movements inside of us that our body is creating. And the sound vibration helps to create relaxation and movement. You can take your hands now and place them on your hips. And we can again go to the wider standing legs, where the legs are apart and the hands are on the hip bones. What I'm trying to do is send the hum or the relaxation down now, heading down and towards my feet, into my leg bones. Inhale, exhale, hum. Again, you might feel these very small little movements in the toes and the fingers, maybe also in the knees or the hips. It's okay if you want to create movement or if you just experience something happening. Just take a big breath and allow whatever needs to happen right now. You're not forcing or pushing or trying to do what anyone else is doing. You're just doing what feels good for each body. Try to breathe slow and deep. The last standing hum I'm going to do is trying to get my hands near my knees. If you need to lean against a wall, you can. You can also bend your legs, tighten your belly, and lower your head down toward your knees. You could hold your knees or your feet. And again, you're trying to hum, sending the energy, the vibration down towards the feet. As you breathe, you might feel different kinds of stretching happening, maybe your back, your knees, your hips, your feet. Any movement is okay. Feeling heavy and still is okay. And since there are many, many options for the ways the body could move, you can modify it, change it so that it works for you and you don't hurt yourself. I'm going to take my time very slowly to come to standing if I'm not already. Noticing how am I? How am I feeling? I can just take a moment to stand and breathe or move if I'd like. Thinking, what do I experience inside? Little pulsing sensations, tensions, breath. I'm going to move towards sitting in a chair, and I'm going to do this practice again. Now, some people will have sat in a chair 2 or 3 times because they don't want to stand or lay down, and that's just fine. That's what they need. What's interesting is if it feels different for you, many people find that they feel the vibration and the restfulness in their body different by the 3rd time we do this, or standing versus sitting or laying down. Again, how are we? How is the breath? How is it moving? How do I feel? I'm going to take my hands together. If you want, you can interlace them or just have them touch in different ways. And I'm going to put them over my head. As the elbows come up, you may want the legs apart in a wider sitting position. Elbows are wide and knees are wide for this first hum. Inhale slow, exhale slow. With the exhale, make the sound HM. I'm feeling tiny movements in my face, in my toes, micro movements. I'm going to bring my hands down very slowly and allow the hands to come somewhere near or touching the head or the face. As I bring my elbows near each other, I could also bring my knees near each other and the feet to more of a closed position. Inhale. As you exhale, hum. After I've created that sound, I'm just allowing the body to do anything at once. Right now, I'm noticing my elbows and knees are opening. I'm just letting the motion be very slow as I breathe and receive the motion. My spine is changing and my chest is sticking up and my throat is opening. For you, it could be different, just the opposite, or nothing, or a lot more movement. Again, I take a breath and notice how I feel. I'm going to start to move towards putting the right hand on top and the hands on my shoulders. You might notice everything is getting slower and slower. That helps the body to relax and heal. This is one of those hugging positions. I can put my right ankle over the left ankle and feel the hug of the ankles, the feet, and the arms against the chest and shoulders. Hum. In receiving and allowing movement, for me, my spine is curling and I'm looking down. I didn't decide to do that. It's just what I noticed happening after I made the sound. I can always change my position as needed. I'm going to uncross my feet, take a breath. I'm thinking about sitting up and going to the next position, but I don't have to force or rush. I can be in slow motion. It's very therapeutic for the body. This is a meditation that's practiced for medical purposes instead of religious purposes. I'm taking the left foot across the right ankle, and the left arm can be on top as I hold my ribs. Feeling the breath, I can notice the fingers on the ribs and feel that movement. So I'm feeling a swaying, rising and falling motion that's happening through my lungs and torso. And a little bit of movement in my eyelashes, my face. I almost feel like I might lose my balance. So I can go ahead and bring my hands to my hips and open my legs wide again. If it feels comfortable, another position is to put your toes together with your knees wide. That's an option. Or the feet flat on the floor. Inhale, exhale, hum. So now that my hands are on my hips, I'm feeling movement through my bones that I'm sitting on, my hip bones, my pelvis, my lower back. I notice my breath is a little slower, longer, or deeper. And I'm starting to think about how I have one more before I finish this section of our dive. So in Continuum, it's called a dive, like you're diving into the ocean. When we practice these hums and movements, there's often ocean waves or rhythms or movements in the body that happen from receiving the hum or sound vibrations or this continuum practice. The next thing I'm going to do is try to get very close to my knees. I'm just turning sideways so you can see me better. I might want to put my hands on my knees. If it's comfortable, you can even reach for your feet or lower your face towards your knees. So after the second time of creating these sounds and positions, you may want to spend a while, 10 minutes, a half hour, some time where you're just stretching and moving, resting and breathing. You may want to lay down and close your eyes. There's lots of options here. Because this is a recording, I'm going to move through the steps a little quicker than I might if it was the end of the day before bed, and I want to just follow my own practice. So we're comparing how we feel now to the start of the class. We're also comparing what it was like to try the humming standing and try the humming sitting. And then we're going to try it one more time if you'd like to. So sitting for a moment quietly, whatever that means to you, can be lots of different things. And just considering those questions. How is my breath? What was that like? How am I right now in this moment in time? What does my body feel like? If it's helpful, you may want to do a couple of bigger stretches to encourage your body a transition towards the floor. If you need to stay seated in the chair instead of the floor, that's just fine. For continuum meditation, we don't have to be still. There are other moving meditation practices like Tai Chi or Qigong. Sometimes moving meditation can be very therapeutic. So I'm going to move my chair in a way that if I want, I could put my feet up on it. I don't have to, but that's one option. I could. I can always use the chair to help me get to the floor carefully and gently. And I can either be flat on the floor or I can have my feet on the chair. So that's another option. I'm going to start with the hands over my head and just take a breath where I settle on the ground, noticing the difference between standing, sitting, and laying down. And if the chair is uncomfortable or you do not have one nearby, you can always just have your feet on the ground. So noticing how heavy the body is and the way the breath is moving. And taking a nice long inhale and a long exhale and sending the hum into the body. So for me, I just felt some bubbles in my belly, some little gurgles, which is a sign that my body is relaxing. My feet also want to move further away from me. I can keep them bent on a chair or just let them slide away. The next position is my hands near my head or touching my head or my face. As I do this, I might want my elbows together, my knees and feet together. As I take a big inhale, I'm going to exhale and hum. I'm feeling those tiny movements in my face and my fingers and my toes. You can feel or create those tiny movements if you'd like. And move your right arm to the top, hands on shoulders with your right ankle crossed over. And you're hugging your body with your arms and legs. Long inhale, long exhale, and a hum. You may feel little movements or stretches happening where your body wants to open and reach or rest and close. I'm going to move my left arm to the top and put my fingers on my ribs with my left foot over the ankle. Trying to feel into the lungs and the ribs as you breathe. And sending the hum into your torso. Again, allowing for any response of your body. Noticing that the movement, the body, the breathing is slower than when we started the class or even standing. I'm beginning to think about my hands coming toward my hips without creating it, forcing it, or changing very fast. If your elbows are out left and right, you may also feel comfortable moving your knees open left and right with the feet together or apart or knees bent. Breathing and humming. And the last hum, laying on the ground, can be where the knees come in towards the belly. You may want to hold your knees, your feet. Another option is to raise the head so that the hum, the mouth, the face is near the knee. So I'm noticing tiny movements in my fingers and my toes, sometimes in my face, and slow motion movements in my arms, legs, and spine. This is a great time to just rest, close your eyes, create stretching, receive movement, or just notice how you are after you did that whole practice. You may want to stay longer in this, or try to do some larger stretching to help bring you back before coming to a sitting position. When you do find a sitting position, you can let yourself breathe and consider what we did before we started this practice. How does my breath feel? How does it move through my body? Do I have any kind of mood, emotions? Does that compare to as I started the class? Is there any topic in my thoughts or sensations in my body? And how does that compare to what it was like at the beginning of class? And then also consider if it was a different experience, standing, sitting, and laying down. If there were different breathing, if there was different sensations, if there were different movements, if the sound felt different. So that's our introduction class, our first of many classes on Continuum Meditation. There are Continuum teachers all over planet Earth, all over the world, in many countries. There are teacher training programs and mentors. And you can notice how your body is, how your mind, emotions, how your social experiences after this class, to know if it would be a useful practice for yourself. Many people feel calm, restorative, rested. You might even feel energetic after a certain time of resting, like more energy flow in the body after giving yourself a time of rest. After a practice like this, you may feel very sleepy and wanting to turn off the computer and take a nap. So just please take the best care of yourself, trusting your heart, your guidance, your wisdom from within to help you to heal and be well. Aloha.